Europe as a whole is going more towards the right. This, of course, has potentially a number of implications to the way Europe looks at international partnerships. EU international cooperation, what used to be called in a way development cooperation, is looked much more through the lenses of European foreign policy. In other terms, EU interests, European interests, matter more for this agenda. And some that come from more traditional development angles see this as very problematic, while there are others who see, I would say, opportunities for Europe itself, but also to innovate on a development agenda that was considered a bit stuck in a world that is changing quite dramatically. So we created a series of commentaries called To the New Leaders of Europe, where we essentially shared our thoughts and ideas on how EU international cooperation and foreign policy more broadly could deliver better towards European interests, for example, again, European economic competitiveness, security, migration, stability, and also, in a way, respond to the geopolitical context better. But at the same time, I think our idea was don't take partners outside of Europe, and especially partners in the Global South, for granted. To execute this agenda, you will need them on board, and to keep them on board, you also have to meet them in the middle. You have to give them something. Otherwise, the agenda will be simply very extractive, or they will just not respond to European offers. Our objective with the series was really to maybe lift the eyes of our leadership a little bit beyond the domestic concerns that, of course, are very important and tend to become prominent, especially during electoral campaigns. Had very good feedback from a number of organizations that said that the series also informed their thinking on how to look at Europeans' role in the world in this changed political landscape. Myself and other colleagues were invited to speak on a series on multiple occasions on the basis of the series, also know how the political landscape in Europe is affecting international partnership and what this means for Europe itself, but also for the organizations that work in the sector that have to adapt to this international to this new framing as well. After the commentary series, we also had some videos and commentaries covering, for example, the election. We also want to look very closely to new concepts that are put into the policy discussions. For example, this idea of economic foreign policy, what this concept really is it fit to achieve what it aims to achieve? How does it speak to international partners of Europe? And also, is Europe equipped well not to actually execute that agenda, for example, as part of the future discussions of the multi-annual financial framework? I think we are also very interested in keep following the how geopolitics and geoeconomics influence Europe and the European leadership, and how this will further influence its international agenda, both inside of Europe and outside.